What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today, we finally arrived at the conclusion to this series. I've had a lot of fun covering this one, but much like every other series, it has to come to an end at some point. But thankfully, we have a pretty crazy finale to top things off. Last time, we saw how everyone's been developing their power, and surprisingly, there was a brand new unexpected announcement. There's going to be a tournament between universes and timelines. It's a pretty crazy idea, no one expected this to happen. Now, Universe 7's team is going to have to try to win, but versions of those universes from another timeline too. This can go a bunch of different ways. For this video, let's set a like goal with 3,000 likes, just because I do like goals with every video and it lets me know you're interested in videos like this. Anyways, let's pick up from here and conclude this series. So before there's an actual tournament, there needs to be an exhibition match. Future Zeno doesn't even know what's going on, so it would be good to explain to him. And clearly the best way to explain this is to actually show him. So the exhibition match is between Universe 7 and Universe 9, or their teams at least. All the different gods from all the different universes show up. There's 2 of each, as well as their angels. It's so weird too seeing all these copies of the gods of destruction. Universe 9 feels like they have a pretty stacked team. For their team, they decided to have 2 trios of danger. The rest of the people didn't really matter too much, but they're hyped about the fact that they got 2 of these trios, although it's not really going to matter here in the exhibition match because it's only 3 versus 3. But still, it's pretty obvious because everyone sees 2 Basils, 2 Lavenders, and obviously 2 Bergamos. So who did Universe 7 choose for the exhibition match? Well, they have a few Saiyans. It's Bardock, Future Gohan, and Goku, a good combination between power and strategy. And they actually have an advantage here. Bardock could foresee everything. He could tell what powers these guys have, and he's able to warn everyone about what they should avoid. Now, this part isn't too important itself. It should be pretty clear that everyone here on Universe 7's team is going to win their fights. But the most important part of the exhibition match is the fact that everyone actually tries to attack Universe 7. They say that they're responsible for this. Had they not meddled with time, this would have never happened. They're not just putting other universes at risk, but other timelines. And the people here are all Saiyans who are directly responsible too. The trio of danger makes it a point to place the blame on all of them. Without these guys, they would be perfectly fine right now. But Gowasu actually stands up for them. People even place some blame on both Gowasu because of Zamasu, but he stands up for himself and Universe 7. Yes, he can't deny that Zamasu's actions were terrible, but the good thing is they've been reversed, and it's because of the help of those guys. Without them, that wouldn't have been stopped, and all the universes would have been doomed, probably not just in one timeline, but both of them. Bardock's glad to see some people are standing up for them. But still, it is pretty clear that they're going to be enemy number 1. And it does make sense. He, Gohan, and Trunks kinda partially caused this. Well, Bulma too, but no one knows about her. They willingly traveled through time. But maybe there's a way to fix this. If they're going to get the Super Dragon Balls, why not wish to keep all the universes and timelines? I mean, they could wish for anything. Would Zeno get pissed at them for doing that? Bardock tries to foresee what's happening in the tournament. But it's weird. His foresight isn't working as accurately as it should. But that kinda does make sense. He's trying to track 80 different people at once over a pretty short time span. There's a ton of different variables of what could happen there, and it's constantly changing. With even every little movement that they make and everything they say, something changes in the tournament. Bardock's gonna have a tough time twisting fate here, but at least he has some idea of what to expect. The tournament itself eventually begins. So, what are the other teams like? Well, let's be honest here. I know you guys really don't care about most of the other universes, so I'm not gonna go through their teams. It's definitely just gonna be their 5 strongest fighters and then probably a duplicate of that. Although I will cover Universe 6 and 11 because I know everyone cares about those. Universe 6 actually will have a different team. There's going to be 2 hits on there and 2 Kabbas. One of them is going to be weaker than the other because he doesn't have Super Saiyan. But that doesn't matter too much. He's still pretty strong in his own right. Kale and Caulifla from the present timeline are on the team, as well as Batamo, Magetta, and Frost from the present timeline. And there's also a second Frost from the future. This Frost was seemingly still good and wasn't outed as a villain. But once they see the 2 Frosts together and Champa meets the one from the present timeline, yeah, it's pretty obvious that he has 2 villains on his team now, which isn't really that great. For Universe 11, they have 5 of their most talented Pride Troopers, and a direct copy of them. Most importantly, that's going to mean there's 2 Jirins, 2 Topos, and 2 Dispos. Universe 7 actually has the most diverse team, because it's not just duplicates. There are 2 Gohans, but that's the only instance of a duplicate, and both are pretty different from the other. But they are also pretty similar and agreed to team up with each other. They have a unique advantage over the rest of the team given the fact that they are the same person after all. It would be very good for them to fight together. The rest of the team kind of wants to fight like this too. Bardock's going to do his own thing because he will be fine on his own, but he'll be coaching everyone else. He's actually the leader here. His foresight is an invaluable thing that they have on the team. And obviously they're going to put a good use to it. They can't just ignore the fact that he has that. That's going to be a huge help here. And it's actually like that for a lot of universes. Everyone's working with the future version of themselves, or at least for the most part. One of the standouts of this is the fact that there's 2 Jirins, and they actually don't want to work together. Jiren's distrust for everyone runs so deep that he won't even work with himself from a future timeline. It's kind of weird, and everyone's confused by this. But it shouldn't really matter. They have 2 Jirins on the team, which should be more than enough. Especially because the future one's a good amount stronger than the present one. And Bardock can tell that he's going to be an issue. He foresees it. Jiren's going to be the main target for everyone. First, they're going to try attacking Universe 7, but as long as they survive that, Focus will be drawn to both Jirens. They seem to be the strongest here, and there's 2 of them. That's the worst part about it. Bardock's actually a bit concerned. As he continues looking forward, he keeps seeing different outcomes, but all of them end in the same thing. They just end with everything going blank. And it's weird, he should be able to predict farther than this, but it's almost like everything that he's seeing just ends with them being erased. At least that's what he assumes is happening, because he can't see anything beyond that. It's concerning, but they'll work through it. Fights begin, and Bardock coaches everyone. Everyone knows who to team up with, and they also know who their best targets are. Bardock was at least able to foresee this. The first few minutes of the tournament were pretty valuable. He was able to distinguish which threats should be eliminated right away, and which fights to focus on first. Everyone begins splitting up, going after their targets. And it's a pretty surprising shift at first, because immediately, Universe 7 knows exactly who to attack. Teams are broken up. A bunch of eliminations begin happening. Universe 7 is pretty strong. Of course, probably not the strongest here right now. But it's weird how proficient they're being right now. Within the first minute of the tournament, they already got over 10 eliminations. And they're pretty big ones. They're breaking the structures of different teams from other universes, completely blowing apart all their plans. Universe 6 even feels the effects of this too. So, Hit decides that he's going to step in. At least Future Hit. The other Hit will handle present Goku. But Future Hit, he's going to take on that other guy, Bardock. He seems to be the ringleader here. Maybe if he can defeat him, Universe 7 will fall apart. Future Hit steps up to Bardock, and Bardock has no clue of who this guy is, beyond just what he's seen in Foresight. Although he does have one hint from Goku. This guy can manipulate time. Hit steps up to Bardock saying nothing, assuming a fighting stance, and Bardock looks very confident. Hit wonders why. He has no idea of what Hit's going to do, and Bardock says that's not actually the case. Well, Hit's going to make this quick then. He time skips, and he's about to strike Bardock with a powerful attack. But it's countered. And it's definitely not a fluke, it's countered flawlessly. And Bardock's still in base right now. The attack doesn't hurt much because Bardock's not using his full power, but Hit's just surprised. He tries attacking again. Bardock dodges this attack. Bardock then powers up into Ultimate God. He is going to need a bit more power to defeat this guy, but it's pretty easy to see through his tricks. He's manipulating time, but Bardock can see ahead anyways. And Hit's confused. Is he manipulating time too? He has no idea what's going on. What is this? But Bardock says he's not going to give away his secrets. He makes quick work of Future Hit, defeating him and knocking him out of the ring. Universe 6 just lost one of its greatest fighters. And while Bardock would love to have some great fights, and he knows that the other Saiyans kinda do too, he's gotta be careful here. He sets his sights on other people from Universe 6. First of all, he splits up Kale and Caulifla, going right for Kale and knocking her out right away. He foresees that she'll have an outburst of anger, and that'll cause her to become extremely powerful. She's a wild card, so it's good to eliminate her. Caulifla also seems pretty strong too, so he's able to make quick work of her. Present Hit jumps away from his fight with Goku. How did the other Hit get knocked out? Well, he guesses that makes sense. That Hit probably knew a lot less about this universe. And when he looks at Bardock, he assumes that he's going to fight like the other Saiyans. It'll be similar to Goku and Vegeta. He'll be able to easily defeat this guy, especially with how strong he's gotten thanks to pure progress and fighting Goku multiple times before. He might actually be beyond his future self, but it doesn't turn out that way. Bardock's being as careful as possible here. He's able to eliminate this Hit as well too. Both the Champas and the crowd are freaking out. What the hell's happening? This guy, he's like cheating or something. And this does get the attention of other universes. Universe 7 is working so well together. They're weeding out different people from different teams. Both the Gohans are working effortlessly together. Of course, a bunch of other fighters are just working with future versions of themselves, but the two Gohans have a different bond. That's the thing. Everyone assumed that if they work with a future version of themselves, it would be flawless. They'd be able to fight with perfect synergy, but that's not the case. They don't know their future selves. Remember, the future versions of everyone have a few years on the past versions of themselves. No one knows what kind of experience and techniques those future versions of themselves could have gotten within those few years. But both Gohans know. They've trained together, fought together. They have the same allies. Future Gohan's actually surprised in his past self. He doesn't seem to be utilizing God Ki, but he's still very strong. It's strange, he didn't want to become a Super Saiyan God? Well, no, present Gohan actually wanted to evolve more as a human. He doesn't even have Ultimate either, he's just been training. After the whole experience in the Cell Saga, and what he remembers from his future self, Bardock and Trunks, it's motivated him a lot, especially with Goku being around this whole time, not having died. He's still not as strong as his future self, but it's just surprising and he commends himself for it. Trunks works together with Vegeta. Vegeta's actually pretty amazed to see him using Super Saiyan Blue so proficiently. He's had it for less time and it seems that Trunks is already ahead of him in terms of strength. Well, that just goes to show how strong hybrid potential is. He's pretty proud of his son, and the two make a pretty good duo together. I mean, you also gotta consider the fact that Universe 7's advantage here is that they also trained together during the Cell Saga. Combine that with everything I just said about people working with their future selves, and you could see why Universe 7 is having such an easy time. But still, they're all concerned. Goku's looking on at that Jiren guy, and Bardock tells him, don't do it. Both of those Jirens, they're gonna be huge threats. They gotta play this smart. They gotta do something different. But Goku tells Bardock his foresight can be changed. He's done it before. He's foreseen the future and changed it already. His father might be relying on it a little bit too much. And again, he's foreseeing that they're gonna be erased anyways. So doing something unpredictable might change that. Maybe Goku should face one of the Jirens. And actually, Bardock could face one of them too. He can see the future after all. He can avoid Jiren's movements. But it's gonna be tough. Eventually, more and more of the fighters are weeded out. This advantage Universe 7 has is insane, but Universe 11 is still solid, and it's concerning. Nobody knows what to do here. As Bardock approaches Jiren, Dispo tries to attack him. Of course, he can see through all these attacks. Another Dispo joins in too. Casually while an ultimate god, he's still growing in terms of power, and he can see everything that's happening. His foresight's helping him a bunch. And it doesn't matter how fast both Dispos are. They're no match for him. He defeats both the Dispos, while Goku actually takes on one of the Topos as he tries to approach Jiren. Realizing that Topo might be trouble, both Gohans jump in and help. Future Gohan looks over at Bardock. Is he actually going to fight Jiren? Well, he's not actually too sure. He is concerned, but he remembers what Kakarot said to him. It might actually be worth the risk. He shouldn't be so concerned on what he's seeing. If he acts unpredictably, maybe he can change the future. Maybe they can win. He walks up to one of the Jirens. Maybe the past one will be easier to fight. He approaches that Jiren. The other Jiren looks on, opening one eye while he's meditating, and then going back to what he was doing. Present Jiren stands up. So, this Saiyan from Universe 7 hopes to challenge him. It's strange that he chose the past version, and he sees right through Bardock. What, did he choose to fight him because he thinks that this Jiren will be weaker? Bardock says kinda, but not exactly. He still knows to expect a formidable opponent. The two begin clashing, and instead of relying on his foresight too much to see what's happening later on, he's focused on purely in the moment. And something strange happens with him. As he tries doing this, he's dodging all of Jiren's attacks. Now, this isn't really that strange. He's done this before with other people, but he's not consciously dodging them. He's foreseeing what's happening, and it's like his body's moving on its own. Briefly, his presence changes. The power of Ultimate God explodes. What? He doesn't know what's happening. It's like he's unlocked a new power within himself. The power flares up and goes away, but it keeps coming back in cycles. Even Jiren's confused, and everyone else looks on. Bardock's aura keeps flickering, and he doesn't even know what's happening either. The gods look on in amazement, at least the remaining ones. Is this Ultra Instinct? He's just dodging every attack so effortlessly. And it's not exactly that. It's almost like Bardock's trying to tap into it without knowing what he's tapping into. With the help of his foresight, his body is actually trying to work with it, trying to move on its own. And this hypes Goku up. He tries to face the other Jiren too, just like he planned. And he sees what that power is. It's just like what Whis was trying to get them to learn before. Goku reminisces on all of his teachings. Maybe if he can calm his mind, he could achieve that. He has been working towards this after all, trying to move his body on its own. Ultra instinct, the gods are saying. It intrigues Goku to no end. He wants this for himself too. He calms himself, trying to separate mind and body. He can't think about his movements. He has to do them unconsciously. The two of them face their respective Jiren. Goku's getting beat up pretty bad. He's not able to accomplish this as well as Bardock, and Bardock's not really getting that many hits in, but he is dodging the attacks. But something weird happens. Bardock's aura continues flaring up. His hair, it's moving rapidly. It's going between Ultimate God and something else, almost like it's going back into base. Goku keeps getting beat up, but he is dodging more and more. His body's getting used to it. At the same time, Bardock's feeling the same feeling. Their two auras explode. Pillars of energy launch from the different sides of the ring. The Jirens look on confused, and each of them sees a similar sight. The Saiyan that's standing in front of them. Each is powered up, with their hair flowing and an intense, overwhelming godly aura. Bardock and Goku have unlocked Ultra Instinct. Bardock's is a bit different. Working alongside his foresight, it's actually a lot more efficient than the regular Ultra Instinct Omen. Present Jiren throws a punch. Bardock simply parries it, and with one punch, he knocks Jiren back a bit, then launching himself towards Goku, not even knowing what he's doing. His body starts moving on its own, even attacking on its own too. He's somewhat confused and Goku is too, but he sees what's happening. The two of them start fighting together, and with both of them working together against this Jiren, they're actually able to catch him off guard. Remember, Bardock's been trying to work intelligently this whole time, trying to be as efficient as possible, eliminating people as quickly as he can. He doesn't care to see Jiren's full power. He wants survival. He works to eliminate Jiren, and Goku does too. Goku's Ultra Instinct begins running out, but together, they launch a combined attack. A father-son Kamehameha knocking future Jiren out of the ring. That's actually good. They knocked out the stronger Jiren before he could even power up. They caught him off guard, but it's going to be harder with this one, especially given the fact that Goku's running out of power. He's able to focus, emptying his mind, getting his body to move on its own, but he's having a harder time managing this than Bardock. But thankfully, there's help on his side. Every other fighter's been knocked out of the ring. Sure, Universe 7 has lost some, Krillin, Tenshinhan Hiroshi, and even Piccolo, but everyone else is still in the ring. The two Gohans get behind Goku, each lending some energy. Vegeta and Trunks stand beside too, lending some of their own as well. Bardock's arm even moves on its own, lending some to Goku as well. The 5 Saiyans all lend him energy. That's actually funny. It reminds him of the Super Saiyan God ritual. He's starting to feel fully restored, and his power, it dramatically increases too. He's reinvigorated, he's regaining his focus, and he's getting a grasp on Ultra Instinct, but it's fleeting. Although, with the help of his allies, they could win this. They all attack Jiren together, with Bardock and Goku being the main weapons. Jiren's strong, and he is showing off more power, knowing not to mess with these guys, but with all of them together, it's becoming tough, especially with two people using Ultra Instinct. The battle gets tougher and tougher. Jiren tries to show off more power, but these Saiyans, they keep evolving. Bardock even drops out of Ultra Instinct at one point, and he tries activating Ultimate, trying to summon more power within him, and his potential explodes. Now that he has Ultra Instinct, his potential grew, his base form grew, and especially Ultimate grew. He just needs to get that focus again, jump back into Ultra Instinct, and he might even be stronger than before. The two are growing at such a rapid rate. What is this? Jiren's completely caught off guard, and inevitably, he's knocked out of the ring, and Universe 7 takes the win. Of course, Bardock is named as the MVP. Surprised at this turnout, but also very proud of his team. They actually did it. It's like Goku said, they changed the future by being unpredictable. And along the way, they accessed a great new power. And Bardock obviously knows what he wants to wish for. And even though they think it might piss Zeno off, Bardock looks ahead a bit, and he sees Zeno smiling. This is what he wants. Both of them wanted this all along. He wishes for the universes and timelines to be restored. They could coexist in peace. Even though mortals have made mistakes, they've also done a lot of good, and this is just proof of it. It was also great to fight alongside everyone from the past again. Vegeta's glad to have seen Trunks again. Goku was very impressed by his future son, and both of the Gohans enjoyed seeing each other too. But most notably, Bardock's glad to have seen everyone back here again. It's pretty heartwarming in a way. This is the result of what they did. When they originally went back in time, they saved all this, they preserved it. And not just that, but their timeline too. He looks over at Gohan and Trunks. Who cares if they change history? It worked out for the better, and oddly enough, it's one of the few things that Bardock's foresight could have never predicted. Who would have known that rebelling against Frieza caused all this? But still, that begs the question, how did Bardock get here in the first place? Well, he may never get the answer to that. And while Bardock ponders how he got here, this is where we'll leave off this scenario for now. So, what did you guys think about this part, and this series as a whole? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. It lets me know that you guys like more videos like this, and it helps out the channel a lot. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon so you're notified about any future uploads on my channel, including more videos like this one. Anyways, thank you all for watching, thanks for supporting this scenario, and I'll see you all in my next video.